rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Meeting's come to order. The first thing we have is to open bids for Long Falls Dam Road paving project. We got a couple bids. And the first one is Pike. Is anybody here from the bid people, Pike and Hopkins?
Pardon me?
Is anybody here from Pike or Hopkins?
Yes, I'm Pike.
Okay, thank you. And Hopkins is not here? Oh, okay. Pike, Western Avenue. Total construction cost of $444,351. Pass that around if you want to look at that. And we've got Hopkins. And Hopkins Paving. Hopkins Paving is total cost of $597,445. There we are. There's that. And with the workshops, I believe Rockwood Fire Chief is not going to make it today, so.
I'm not going to make it, but I would like to fill you in on some information.
Okay.
Good, before we go, just as regards, just because I don't know how this works. We open the bids, but we take action later on.
Well, actually, we are going to take action, but I'm going to ask you to add to the agenda the motion. Or we can just wait till next time and put it on the next meeting.
We've got to have awarding the bid added to this agenda.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we can either add it and do it later today, or we put it on the next one because we kind of know who we're going to give it to, and I'm sure Gerard, who is left, also knows. There's a significant price difference in two bids.
Is that the ordinary procedure we use as we open them and award it?
Sometimes,
later in the
depends on if it's a new company we're not familiar with.
Do some due
Sometimes we want to do
diligence.
some investigation before we.
But they've done stuff for us before,
Yeah.
yeah, well known.
Pike is actually going to be doing the first 17 miles of that road this summer. So.
And where do we, just refresh my recollection, where's it start, where's it end?
This starts in New Portland, and it runs from New Portland all the way up to the
This is the whole road?
Flagstaff Lake.
Okay.
Most of it's state-owned, and state's paving their entire stretch. We own the northern 9 miles, 9.5 miles.
Is that the real bumpy stretch after you get on top of the big hill?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
they
really needs to be
basically,
rebuilt.
when the road needed to be worked on, per se, all that was done by DOT early on was they put up a new sign that said rough road, next 8 miles.
Yeah. And then we,
But
That was on Madison Avenue this morning.
and then we.
more than what they do in Canaan.
once the water pumping station from Cold Springs built on the far end up where our road is, they done in and shimmed and paved the whole lower section, so the transportation would be a lot smoother than it was previously. So now they're going back and they're redoing that first stretch again. We're going to start redoing our stretch. We have to divide it into 4 different sections, usually 2.5 miles per year, just because of the cost.
So this is for 2.5 miles,
That's for 2.5 miles.
is that normal?
Unfortunately, yeah.
That's what happens when you stop drilling oil. Pavement goes up.
Okay. Well, I'll make a motion that we want to just get it off the table and do it.
We'll have to make a resolution. We'll have to have a new agenda item,
Okay.
so.
Okay, well, let me introduce you. I gave everybody the information on the snowmobiles to the ice in Rockwood
Yep.
last meeting.
Yep.
Anyone that needs a new copy, I have them here if anyone would like them.
I'll have one, just to refresh my memory on that.
Dell was gonna give you a first-hand account of everything, but
Yeah.
the weather up his way is worse than we're supposed to get. They're already into ice and snow up there, so. I just wanted to give you a rundown on what I think we should do. Decision's obviously yours, you're the commissioners, but the fire department is an entity of the county. We own the building, we own the land, we own all the equipment. We have financial oversight. They budget every year on what they anticipate spending, and it goes in the UT budget. You guys are dealing with the county budget. UT budget is done in the fall. And it takes 6 months to put the county's UT budget all done together, and it's presented in Augusta in usually around April. So, because it is our responsibility, when it comes down to it, and it's not covered by any kind of insurance that we could, the fire department has liability insurance, we have insurance also, but this was a private snowmobile. So, what I think we should do is we should buy the snowmobile as is condition from this individual. And because this is not a snowmobile that can be repaired, as we were initially thinking, we're going to have the fire department use it as one of theirs. It's beyond repair. So we have 2 different accounts. I was going to take it out of the capital account, assuming that you agreed to pay for it. I was looking at taking it from the capital account from the fire department, and that has enough money in it. But because it's not going to be usable, then we can't take it out of the capital account. So I was going to suggest we take it from the community benefit account. That's an account of money that the commissioners have access to that doesn't have much on it for restrictions. The current balance on the community benefit account is $432,000. So $8,000 out of that isn't going to make too much difference.
What's a normal use for that account?
Community benefit
Most
account
recently.
has been used in a lot of different places. It can be used in towns as opposed to strictly in the UTs. TIF money has been tied to the UTs. Community benefit, we put 170,000 or whatever in Run of the River, is one of the programs. We put money in the Canaan park out there, venue for weddings and that. A lot of different locations. I think at the next meeting, you're gonna get a rundown. We didn't put it in this one, we postponed it because this was a busy meeting. But yeah, we've used that in a lot of places down this part of the county. So we could use 8,000 just to put this behind us. And I would suggest a policy being made that the fire department in Rockwood is only allowed to use its own equipment and not allowed to use anybody's personal property. That would cover us from this ever happening again. And as I said, we've always had financial oversight. I'm suggesting we now maybe should step into more operational oversight with this policy. And there's a board, they have a local board up there that kind of controls the fire department. And I've never attended it, I don't think any commissioners have attended it, but I think maybe we should. Whether somebody on the board would like to volunteer to attend those meetings, or send me, I'm already on a couple boards for the Upper Kennebec Valley Ambulance Service and Transfer Station in West Forks. So, you know, I'm willing to go up and attend those meetings just to get a better sense. Dell is the fire chief up there, and he is kind of a mover and a shaker. He's making some good progress getting things done, new equipment, new training. He's staffed very well up there. A lot of places are hard to get volunteers. He's done well getting people up there. But being a little gung-ho, you know, maybe having on-site, you know, for the board meetings would be beneficial.
So what is the as-is cost of the sled?
$8,000.
It is not repairable? I just
No,
don't
it
get
was in the
this.
bottom of the lake for 2 or 3 weeks before they
You
could find
have
it.
7,000 here.
Oh, that was an estimate. We estimated initially 7,500, I think, and the guy was saying 8,500 is what he was looking for. And when both Dell and I looked online to get an estimated cost, $8,000 was the number we saw in several locations.
Yeah, but this isn't considering that, I mean, that's probably as it was when it was in working condition and
Yes.
repairable.
But it was in working condition when he had it last.
Right.
We're the ones that dropped it in the bottom of the lake.
Well, I just want to make sure, so there's a stranded snowmobiler on the edge of the ice on the other side of the stream?
He put his snowmobile through the ice and he went into the water.
But he's out of the water?
He's out of the water,
He's on the shore.
standing on the edge of the ice.
Yes.
They're yelling at him to get away from the edge, and he is not responding at all.
So we drove a snowmobile into.
Into
Took
the
a
same area.
circular route to try to get on better ice, to get closer to him, and didn't take a circular route as should have been taken. So dealt with that sled through. We found the first sled pretty quickly, and we got that out. The other one was in deeper water and further up towards the lake, and it took longer to find.
And this $7,000 or $8,000, whatever it is the fair market value of the sled at the time that it went in the water?
Yeah, yeah, we compared make, model, and mileage, and that's kind of what we looked at for a price.
So we're sort of acting as if it was our sled.
Yes, yeah, basically,
Reliable.
yeah, we're liable, whether, you could argue against it in court.
I might.
I don't know, I don't think it's worth going to
It's
court.
also-
Right, those lawyers are expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's lawyers.
So I would say we'd like to put this behind us and make policy saying this is not gonna happen again. Sleds owned by the fire department will be used.
And we should not be driven on water.
Definitely not doing the water. I will definitely give you that. The ice in Moosehead, generally, they know it very well. They go out both summer and winter, taking boats or taking snowmobiles. A lot of activity on Moosehead Lake. But this is one time when the judgment was a little bit involved. So that's what I'm looking at, as far as turning the page, getting this taken care of, and then maybe become more involved in operations up that way, just to make sure we're not putting ourselves in a more liable position.
It's likely with the condition the sled's in now, it's got some sort of value. What's going to happen with that?
Well, we're gonna buy it. I mean, if we buy it, your decision. We will see if we can part it
You're gonna
out,
put it on
sell
your
parts, or
front
do
yard?
whatever.
Put it on your front yard?
Huh?
You gonna put it on your front yard, or?
Let's hope not. I've seen a lot of them that are put up on top of camps and whatnot. Maybe we can sell it for lawn ornament, or, something.
Maybe it should be put in front of the fire department as a reminder.
Are we supposed to take
Yeah,
action?
put a for sale sign, $8,000 on it.
It's not on here.
For a couple of years.
Yeah, we haven't,
It's discussion.
yeah, this was just discussion. We haven't made any motions. We can do that on the 19th, which is your next meeting, if that's the decision.
On the 19th, bring us a policy as well that we can deliberate on. We'll put that on the agenda as well. And I suppose this is what is known as sunken costs. So, so yes, we'll reconsider this on the 19th.
Okay?
Thank you.
Good. Any questions or anything else before I go sit down? I think we touched basically what we need to
Yeah.
get this behind us. Okay, thank you very much.
Next item on the agenda is to finalize the preliminary budget. So we have the new budget in front of us from what we changed from last time. And was there any additions, corrections, subtractions that we want to make before we submit this to the Budget Committee, the Somerset County Budget Committee? Or are we fine with presenting this as it is? Any discussion?
I'm all set.
Okay, so we'll have a motion later on in the show here regarding that. Okay. New agenda items, I would ask for a new agenda item to accept the bids. A bid for the Long Creek paving.
Right now, or we're going to do that?
Yeah, I'll make a motion, we accept Pike Industries for $444,351.
A second.
Okay, then it'll be that'll be a new agenda item for, that will be, Resolution 2373. So we'll do that back there, because that's all we're doing now is making a new agenda item. So all in favor of the new agenda item? Okay.
Excuse me, can I get bids?
Yeah, there's there you go, thank you. No other new agenda items. Minutes, Resolution 2363, to accept the minutes of March 15th, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Let's go. Resolution 2364, to accept the minutes of March 27, 2023.
So moved.
Second?
Yep.
Thank you. It's Scott and John, first and second.
Yep.
Any discussion? All in favor? Resolution 2365, to accept the minutes of March 29, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? So go. Finance reporting.
No major changes. April's not, April, March isn't closed yet, so the next commission's meeting, I'll be reporting on March. No major changes as of last time.
Do you have a schedule set up for the budget committee?
I've sent out emails and I'm getting dates from them, so tomorrow I'll send out the packet to them.
Yeah.
And I think I don't know the dates right offhand, but there's maybe 3 dates that have six of them, so that's a quorum. And I'll let you know what those dates are.
Okay, great.
I've only heard back from 6 of them.
I knew that it was an ongoing thing for you, yeah, thank you.
Right,
Yeah.
but I, of course, will run it tomorrow morning. I'll run it by the commissioners on what dates they actually have a quorum. I always have the commissioners look at which dates best fit their schedule. And then I request that from the budget committee, that we can do that on those dates.
Yeah, good, thank you. You gonna turn that off, John?
Yeah, I'm trying to see.
Thank you.
the Live streaming here.
Yeah, it was annoying. I can hear it, it's annoying. And,
I have the sound off, and you'll hear nothing more.
thank you. Administrator report. Nothing. Department heads, Frank, you're front and center.
Hi.
Hi, anything to report?
Yes, we actually had, Sheena's last day was yesterday. She's a victim witness advocate, so we have interviews tomorrow. Hopefully, we look like we have some pretty good candidates, so she'll be difficult to replace, but we will try.
Thank you. Sheriff?
Patrol had 382 calls for service last week. 2 of those calls were, we had to deploy Narcan trying to save lives. Let you know that all our sergeants have attended training last week on the yellow flag law, so that we'll be up to date with those. And on March 29th, we had our MLEAP, which is the Maine Law Enforcement Accreditation Program assessment, and the post meeting with the people that gave us our assessment. It appears that within the next couple of weeks we might be successful at unable to achieve accreditation. And I'll let you know if we are successful. Derigo wants to do a presentation in front of the commissioners.
Oh, okay.
We'll be the only law enforcement agency in Somerset County to have been accredited.
Any headway in the state?
So there's several bills floating around right now. The one about the rural patrol, that is continuing. I met in the speaker's office 2 weeks ago now. There was supposed to be a meeting last Friday, that was postponed. There's still conversations going on about that separate funding source outside of property tax to pay for the patrol. So those are ongoing.
Okay.
How about, there's been discussion, I read in the papers about Medicare, Medicare, any
So I have a meeting tomorrow at 3 o'clock with, at the speaker's office again, and the speaker put together an expanded Medicare, Maine care bill. I think the bill is to also include all those that are undocumented. But in that bill, we asked her, and it appears that she had, I reviewed it briefly before I came down here, that if you, once you become incarcerated, you did not lose your Maine care. And if that comes through fruition, that will drive our jail medical costs down, because right now, once you get incarcerated, you lose your Maine care and the county picks that up. And our argument was, hey, you've already made the determination that, right or wrong, you've made a determination that this person deserves Maine care. Why do you take it away just because they're a Maine resident? Why do you take it away just because they go to jail? So we'll see if any part of that is successful. I'm hoping that it will be, just to drive down our medical costs in the jail.
They're still a resident, whether they're in jail or not.
They're a Maine resident.
Right.
Yeah, the inmate is a Maine resident. That's
Right.
How much time was involved in the training on the yellow flag one?
It was a 4-hour training
4 hours.
that the sergeants participated in. We had, so in our annual trainings, all law enforcement received that training. This was enhanced training for the supervisors so that we don't miss the process of how it's accomplished.
Did you perceive any additional work, one way or the other? More or less or anything, or is it gonna be?
There is a process, right?
Right.
To temporarily take someone's gun. It has to be approved through, through the judge. And our biggest problem, which one of the things that we identified through our assessment, is the room to store. So we hold guns for several reasons. One, for evidentiary, other for safekeeping, for those protective orders and those yellow flags, because we were finding it was two problems. It was time consuming. Our evidence guy, we have a process now that we take the gun in, we oil it, we seal it in airtight, and we store it, because we don't want to be buying guns. So the problem was that and at one time one case we had 30 guns we took possession of. So that was quite a long process to get that all put into evidence or taken care of. The next day the judge said you can have your guns back. So we're trying to separate the guns that are for evidence and for safekeeping, and we're working on that now. So
You're not required to take them now if there's another place for them to go,
right,
another safe place to go, so
right.
maybe a wash, I guess.
Well, we still do.
Do you see that you're gonna be yellow flagging or yellow papering?
Well, we haven't done a lot.
More off and then
No,
blue? Or?
We haven't done a lot more than normal. We haven't seen that. But I can tell you that the volatility of the cases we're going to is getting, the frequency was more for a myriad of reasons: drugs, mental health.
Mm-hmm.
I can supplement that and say that I looked at the stats from 4 years ago versus today, actually this is February. Our misdemeanor caseload is the same, but the felonies in Somerset County are up 85%.
85. Yes, sir. And what are those felonies mostly?
Drugs.
I shot your face.
Yeah.
And with all, with those drug cases come guns.
Yeah, and it's all, there's a lot of organized, semi-organized crime, gangs, guns, and fun things.
I believe it is organized crime, but
Yeah, yeah. Any movement on getting more marijuana money?
So there's a lot, and you being part of this coming from the legislature, you understand that there's a lot of interests that are going after that money. Those conversations are going on right now.
What money is this?
Marijuana money. They legalized marijuana. Did you know that?
Texas.
Well, they have in state level, they use your bills in cash, they can't go put it in the bank, is that?
No. Taxes,
Oh.
sales taxes.
And,
Which they told us we were gonna get a large amount of it to fight crime. So that was gonna,
And as of yet, we actually offered that as a possible avenue to fund rural patrol. We haven't got a response back from that yet.
Tracy? Tracy? Okay. Mike, right in the back?
It is. On the comm side of the house, as the sheriff indicated with his numbers, I ran it today, and we're running a little over 2 weeks ahead of where we were last year on the same call number. So we're definitely seeing an uptick everywhere in the county as far as call volumes go. We did finish our business practice review a couple of weeks ago with Central Square. Spent 4 days working on that at the jail. Thank you, Sheriff, for providing that room. And we are now getting ready to start having some discussions about the conversion of data coming out of IMC and into Central Square. One of our biggest holdbacks right now is state interfaces. Tammy has tried multiple times to get in touch with the new director at the Access Integrity Unit to start working on the interface for Metro. And she has had this much response back. I'm contemplating going to the next step above that person and try to get some stuff moving. As far as the 2 new employees go that we've hired within the last couple of weeks, they're doing phenomenally. They have fit in great. They've just started their first days of their 4 weeks of straight training at the academy to come back with their state mandated certifications that they need. So that's working well. I want to acknowledge the employees that we've had with us for a period of time now, not counting those 2 who have worked a phenomenal amount of overtime and have really been putting in a lot of extra time in the last few weeks, and will be until these people are up to speed to where we can actually count on them, because we actually have an open spot on each night shift at this point that's being filled with full-timers, or the deputy director is working overnights to be able to fill those shifts. So on the EMA side of the house, I normally can come to you at this time and tell you what we have for Homeland Security grant funding for the year. Homeland Security grants have been, the notice of funding opportunity has been released. However, they're running them a little differently this year. It's going to be open competitive to a point. They're only going to be considering those requests that fit the direct criteria of the Homeland Security grant, meaning all of the national priorities and the state priorities. So we literally can submit 15 or 20 applications for the county for departments, and then they will get filtered out, sent back to us with the ones that they're going to accept and not accept. So like last year at this time, I can tell you we had $136,000 coming in funds. I can't tell you that this year until we hit the final awards months down the road. So
Yeah, thank
thank
you.
you.
Any questions?
Question for Mike.
Yes.
How are you doing on your PPE building?
Good. I actually got when I was sitting here, I got the final okay from Granger to get the account set up. So that I was trying to do it in a way that we weren't monopolizing the credit card monthly package. So we were charging large amounts out on the credit card, doing it multiple months to be able to get it. And they just acknowledged the receipt of the tax exempt record today. So.
Set them up.
Okay. 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 Yeah, I just wanted to make sure I had that before I came to you, Tracy, asking for a vendor number.
Okay.
Laura?
Yes, so, training is moving along for the newer people in the office, and, we're starting to pick up, our workload. Going okay?
Good, good. I noticed where the sales were down.
They were.
Yeah. So hopefully with spring, it will come pick back up again.
I'm
see.
hoping so.
Yeah.
We have seen a little bit of that.
Anything else? All right. Pavel?
So as Mike mentioned about the FEMA and Homeland Security grant, they listed like cybersecurity as a high priority. So we're gonna apply, and then hopefully we can upgrade our infrastructure, which would be really good. So we're gonna apply. We have like 2 weeks to apply. So that's one thing. We also with the sheriff's office, we're working on the e-citation project, which kind of that's something that instead of handwritten tickets, they will be able to put those in the computers and print those tickets. So that's another project that we're working on. We have interview for IT position. Actually, we received just 4 applications, but we picked one because that's the only candidate with a good experience that can work right away with us. And we offered him position, he accepted, so hopefully within 2 or 3 weeks, we will have him on our team working with us. That's the updates of today.
Great. Questions? Thank you.
Phil.
Hmm? I know.
Oh, yeah.
And Mike. Phil? Mr. Curtis? You have a report for us?
Sorry?
Nothing, okay. Mike, Mr. Pike.
So, an update on the jail. We're approaching the 1-month mark into going back to 4 shifts. I'm happy to report we have not had any additional resignations since we've done that. The number of call-outs has decreased dramatically, and I'm hearing good feedback from our staff that morale has improved as a result of that. With regard to staffing, we have 4 officers currently in training. We expect to have them on the floor full-time by May 1st. We have 1 additional hire on the agenda for your consideration today. And assuming that that hiring is approved, that will leave us with 4 openings, which I believe is the lowest number of positions we've had open in about 3 years.
Wonderful, thank you.
You're doing a great job. You're doing a great job.
I want to circle back to Mike Smith for a minute. How is the integration with the other towns with the central square? That's good, but
Yeah, I mean, we have some towns and some departments who are more proactive and working, I think, a little more quickly at getting their pieces of it done. We found out in the BPR that, while communications has their section to do, each department also has their records and everything else that needs to be set up by them. It's not set up by the communication center. So I think we're doing okay right at this point. We've started some of our looking at different call reasons, bringing over, and just different things like that internally within our department. So I mean, I think we're getting there. We obviously have, I hate to say it, but another 15 to 18 months of this progress, this project to go through. But it will be worth it when we're all done. So
yeah, thank you. Did I miss anybody? I don't see anybody that I may have missed. Okay. Unfinished business, none, new business. Resolution 2366 to ratify the hire of Elijah Baldinelli as dispatcher for the Somerset County Regional Communications Center.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Resolution 2367 to approve the termination of Corrections Officer Joshua Bowden for the Somerset County Jail.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Can I raise my usual beef? I've learned, someone's explained to me that it's important that we ratify hires to sort of get the new employee officially on the county payroll and so forth. I still don't understand why we are ratifying a decision to terminate somebody. We're not hearing that. We know nothing about it, and there's no, I don't see why we have to take any action on it. It's a meaningless gesture that makes no sense to me whatsoever. So,
May I address that, Mr. Chair?
Please do.
So, Commissioner Alsop, per the Corrections Collective Bargaining Agreement, approval of termination by the commission is the last step in officially terminating an employee from.
when you say terminate, you mean ask them to leave and not come back?
Dismissing from
Yeah.
employment.
So we're supposed to approve that with no knowledge whatsoever of the facts. We're just supposed to rubber stamp a decision that's been made at a lower level. Is that purely
Well,
performative?
so all I have to do is speak to the language in the
Okay.
contract.
Is that staying in the contract? It just seems silly to me. But I don't want to delay things anymore. I've made my point.
Mike?
That's basically the same wording within the communications contract as well, Commissioner. The employee does have the right to come to you and read that termination, so that does leave that door open, in between for them to come and present that to you, so.
But if that window's closed, we just approve it.
That's,
Okay. Well, we have to get a new stamp for that.
I know you've worn it out already.
All right.
Thank you, Mike and Mike.
I love for hearing why. I do this stuff, I have no idea why I'm doing it. Now I know. So thank you.
Commissioner, I'll be more than happy to tell you why I offered to terminate the employee.
I don't need to do that right now.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Thank you. Resolution 2368, to approve the FY24 draft budget to go to the Budget Committee.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Any changes? Last minute, last chance. All in favor? Resolution 2369, to approve the hire of Jeannie Law as full-time corrections officer for the Somerset County Jail.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Capital Reserve Expenditures, Resolution 2370, to approve the request to upgrade deed software and utilize the online deed process.
So moved.
Second.
Do we have the money? That's my only question.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask Mike to do.
Yes.
Where do we get the money? Where's it?
It's a capital,
It's capital reserve.
it's money that's just sitting there.
Okay.
Needed to be used.
That we bank for such reasons.
Just asking.
Further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Resolution 2371, to approve the transfer of funds for the IT email exchange server, IT county telephone system, and IT software projects.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Nothing from unorganized territory. Warrants. Resolution 2372, to approve the treasurer's warrants for the general fund, Somerset County Jail, and unorganized territories in the amount of $102,287.73 for general fund, $598,465.74 for the Somerset County Jail, $163,185.54 for the UT, and $5,250 for TIF fund community benefit, for a total of $869,189.01.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
I had a question, maybe I should ask the sheriff. Just refresh my recollection on this, there's two kind of big ticket items in the jail warrant. One, I think, is for sublocade, and the other one's for the security system. Are those,
So the security system has been a capital project. It's been in the works for some time. And it's quite huge. The sublocade, right now, we have 53 people on sublocade, so that's what our MAT program is. The state's put in $440,000 because this is a pilot program. Some of our opiate money, I believe we're going to use to show the state that we had some interest in this also.
That 77,000 roughly invoice is being paid through grant funding, so it's not actually
Yes.
funds. And the jail security system, that's total project's gonna be around 850,000. Portion of that's actually in this year's budget to complete it. So you'll be seeing quite a few big ticket items for that.
okay.
But that wasn't all for 1 year. I mean, that was planned for
Right.
several years.
Yeah,
I said,
in this budget that we just approved.
The camera systems are from the original 2008 when I built it, and I'm having a lot of problems with it.
So do we see that, we're going to see those numbers every month for the warrants, or?
well, it depends on the completion dates. When they get milestones, they call the invoices.
We ain't done yet.
Well, I don't believe they're gonna start till July of this year.
End of June.
End of June, 1st of July of this year.
The biggest thing that we've been actually paying for is the actual equipment, not the installation.
Further discussion? All in favor? Okay. Miscellaneous 2372, to approve the bids for Long Pond Road.
Make a motion, it's 2370.
2373.
73.
Make a motion to approve Pike Industries for $444,351 to pave the Long Falls Dam Road.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Okay. Miscellaneous discussion items, commissioners only. Joel?
I'm good.
John?
Nope.
All set.
Okay, I do have one thing. I've given everybody at the table this printout for the summary application for FERC.
Yeah.
This will be on our workshop for our next meeting. The Gilman Stream Hydro Dam, the owner wants to give up the license. It was FERC license, so we'll discuss that at that time. Okay. Public hearing, public comment, executive session, Title I MRS Section 405-6E, attorney noting that this executive session may be periodically recessed and reconvened as necessary during this meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, so we are going to be in executive session with our attorney. We can get our attorney. We're going to circle back to you in a minute. Patrick. Yeah.